we are happy to welcome Chip McKenney, the founder and president of the Gay Polo League. We're going to tell you all about a big event coming up. Chip, welcome to Queer News Tonight.
Thank you very much, Al. I appreciate being here.
You know, before we start, I have to, in full disclosure, say my only exposure to polo, well, I guess I too am just a pretty woman.
This must be really proud, huh?
Everything was going their way.
Well done! Well done! Whoop, whoop, whoop!
Well, that's probably going to be me, as 2,000 people from all over the world are getting ready to converge on the National Polo Center in Palm Beach, April 7th through the 9th, for the 2023 Lexus International Gay Polo Tournament, presented by Douglas Eileman. Chip, welcome again to Queer News Tonight.
Thank you.
Did I get that right? Normally you don't see the words gay and polo together.
It's catchy, isn't it?
It is
It's
catchy.
very catchy.
Yeah.
And it's Googleable.
And well, of course, that's the important thing.
I know.
Tell us a little bit, before we get into what's happening in April in Palm Beach, tell us a little bit about what the inspiration of this was. You're the founder. Right. The Gay Polo League is the only LGBTQ polo league in the entire world. You're a 501c3.
Correct.
All of those ring wonderfully to me. Tell me a little bit about the history.
So I founded the Gay Polo League in 2006. I was living in Los Angeles. I had a long history with show jumping and horses. It's been in my DNA and my blood all my life. But in 2006, I had stopped show jumping competitively, and I was kind of looking for my next tribe. Like, my social network was dwindled because I wasn't going to horse shows. And I decided I would take a polo lesson in Santa Barbara. And halfway through that polo lesson, I literally got the idea that it was a great sport for LGBT people all over the world for many, many reasons. And I pulled up halfway through and I said to the riding instructor that I didn't know that I was going to start a Gay Polo League. And that's really the birth of it.
And did he look at you or say, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah. Were you there? Because that's exactly what he said. He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I just think this is a great sport for gay people. It's ancient, it's elegant, it's athletic, there's a beauty to it, and it's a team event." So I thought that would be something that we could do all over the world.
You know, Chip, I have to say to you, you know, pretty well traveled, but I've never been exposed to polo, which makes me think, you know, hey, what rock am I living under? And I've been here in South Florida now coming up on 5 years, and it's not something that you see a lot of. And the one generalization stereotype that we have of Palm Beach is it's a different class set, and polo helps fulfill that. The National Polo Center, so gay and polo. Is there any truth to that stereotype or no?
Well, I think the truth is what you said prior to getting the stereotype. The truth is, polo is not an urban sport primarily, so it's not easily as accessible to people as softball, football, baseball, the other ones that anybody can have access to. Because polo itself requires a large space. For example, a polo field is 9 times the size of a football field. So you're really looking at vast expansions of green space. So it's generally played in parts of the country that can offer that. The sport of polo, I believe, it labors a little bit with an idea that it's prestigious, or it's
kings and queens play it.
Well, yeah, but now we know queens play it. So so we're changing that. We're changing that stereotype.
One queen at a time.
One queen at a time.
Right.
One chucker at a time, actually, is our tagline. But the thing is, our event sort of embraces the specialness of polo, and we create an opportunity for everybody to come and enjoy it. And if you haven't seen a polo game, it's wildly watchable, and it's easily understandable. There is thrill, and there's also pomp, there's circumstance, but we bring it to everybody.
Yeah, I want to get into that. Okay, so you've tickled my fancy, and I'm paying attention, and I'll get into some of the more details in a minute. One of the things that was fascinating to me is the association of the event, an international gay polo tournament in sponsorship. Lexus comes in, Douglas Eileman comes in. it's just curious to me because this is such a specialty niche. 2,000 people are going to come to the event that we're talking about in a moment. Why would a business community, especially maybe a non-gay business community like a Lexus, why would sponsors gravitate towards something like that?
I think two reasons sponsors gravitate to the GPL. I think the first thing is our brand is unique in the world of organized sports and in the world of LGBT. So because we are unique and we're the only gay identified league in the world, we have a special place for those type of sponsors looking to get their brand and their products in front of a unique demographic. I think the second reason is our unique demographic tends to be older. We tend to attract 28 to 70 plus year old people who tend to be more luxury oriented. So we've been very careful in how we present our brand so that we don't sexualize it. You know, a lot of people immediately when they hear a gay polo league, they want to make it sexual and they want to make it those things. We don't do that. For us, the beauty and the sexuality of it are the horses and the elegance and all of that stuff.
All right, well, Chip, I'm going to have to take out a whole series of jokes that I was going to make in this interview.
You're welcome to. I may not have heard them before.
Right, you probably have. All right, before we jump into Palm Beach, the other thing that was fascinating about gaypolo.com and the league is you have 3 international tournaments, one in Europe and one in Buenos Aires. Saint-Tropez, which I love very much, in the south of France. You're going to London this year. Tell us a little bit about that, the international versions of this.
Okay, so, and thank you for asking about that, because the big vision, the big mission behind this is to elevate awareness of LGBT athletes. That's really my calling, and I use the GPL as the vehicle to do that. So we have our International Gay Polo Tournament in Wellington, Palm Beach County, every year. That's our flagship event. And we've started to push into other countries. So as you mentioned, we did Saint-Tropez. We've had 2 events the last 2 years there. We've done Argentina every year for 7 years. And this year we're going back to London for our second time to host an event there. And our goal really is to bring what we see as a great opportunity to showcase LGBT athletes in areas and countries and urban cities that we already have communities. So that's why we do the 3.
Well, fun. I want to go back to Buenos Aires. This would be a great justification.
December.
And a great time of the year, because that's
I know, it's
there.
perfect.
Yeah, perfect. All right, well, let's dive right into Palm Beach. The International Gay Polo Tournament is going to take place. There's preliminary activities that are more private on Wednesday and Thursday, but then the first event for the public is Friday, April 7th, and it's called the Polotini.
Correct.
All right, Polotini charity party to benefit the One Pulse Foundation, of which, of course, as many people know, I'm a big supporter of, and for reasons why. Your publicity says experience a hair-raising extravaganza, which is very funny considering one of the stars participating. Revelry includes music, dancing, open bar, delectable hors d'oeuvres, and a special live performance by the incomparable Lady Bunny. And of course, as you advertise, you've got to wear your finest wig. And this year's charity for the event is One Pulse, as I said. Tell me a little bit about the Friday night event. First off, Bunny coming and Polo, I assure you, this is the first association with something classy ever in Bunny's entire life.
Isn't it outrageous?
It's outrageous.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't think we'd ever get Bunny. And I had a connection who's helping us plan the event, and he had her phone number in his phone. And he said, let's call Bunny. And I was like, let's. And actually, she answered, and we pitched it. And he said, I love the idea. Talk to my manager. And that's kind of how it all came to be. It was just such a surprise. So I'm thrilled.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled.
And tell me about that thinking of having you know, as we started polo in Palm Beach, having this image, if there is the antithesis of a drag queen image, it's Bunny.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a fair assessment, and we hope she lives up to that. Here's kind of the genesis of this. So originally, we became a 501c3, I think, like 5 or 6 years ago, and we've built an event that we feel can be used as a platform to raise funds for other LGBT-facing charities. So we've worked with Compass, we worked with Sage for 2 years, and this will be our 2nd year as a charity partner to One Pulse Foundation. Our event is about a celebration of the best of gay culture. It really is, you know, taking what made us so unique in the world and so special in my mind and certainly in my own life, and bring it all together under one roof. And that is the birth of Wigstock. Because we used to do sort of like a boring cocktail party, and you know, that wasn't all that fun. I mean, right? And, you know, we had to have a cocktail party and the blue blazer set. But then my husband said, you know what you need? You need like a theme. You need something to make it more fun. So when we started brainstorming about all of this, costume parties require a lot of work and expense and effort for people to go and get a costume. What doesn't require very much effort at all is a wig. So you can wear anything you want, and you just need to wear a wig. And what we noticed about people is the minute they put on a wig, they become different people. So it's hilarious.
Exactly what drag does.
And it's incredible. And the first year, I think maybe 30% of people wore a wig, and the rest just stood around. And now everybody wears a wig.
You know, it seems to me Compass has a senior program at the Compass LGBT Center. Sage is the leading organization in America voicing support of the needs of LGBT older Americans. To bring Lady Bunny in it is perfect theming because she represents both of those streams, and so it's a perfect continuation of that theme that you've done. And be sure and tell her I said.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure I know her age, but maybe she qualifies as an elder.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Chip.
That'll be safe.
So One Pulse Foundation, of course, near and dear to many, an LGBT member of our community. Tell us why the selection of One Pulse.
I was introduced to One Pulse by a guy who's come to our event several times. And I didn't know anything about One Pulse. Of course, I was painfully aware of the massacre and on all of the happenings. But when he asked me if I would consider partnering with them, I said, well, let me look into that organization. When I looked into the organization, I was so touched by the story and by the outpouring of community and global really support and empathy with it. And I thought this is important that we get behind, because sadly, this is a massacre that happened in our state, in our country, in modern times. And that to me was an indication that that's not going to be the only situation. We just saw a recent one in Colorado. Same thing happened. Not as many tragedies, thankfully, but we're still, in my mind, we're still somewhat at risk in our own country. And I wanted to do something that paired with somebody else's vision of building something to educate and to remind and to persuade people that gays have value and we matter and we should be protected along with every other person in this country. That's really why I chose.
It's a great cause, a great reason why to participate in the Friday night party event. Saturday, April 8th is the big day, the Gay Polo League's International Tournament Finals. 16 LGBTQ plus polo players and others that are allies to the community from around the world will compete. 4 polo teams will compete for 2 GPL perpetual trophies that are called the Senator's Cup and the Founders Cup, and it's all being held at the National Polo Center, which is one of the top-ranked polo clubs in the entire world. Now, this event goes on. I've watched Pretty Woman, so I'm pretty much an expert on polo now. I rewatched it in preparing to interview with you because I don't want to, do the whoops, I want to fit in.
Right, of course.
What's interesting to me about polo, you've got to help us understand how seating, tailgates, general admission all work, because it's not like going to a football game or a basketball game. This is an outdoor field event. So explain to us how this works.
So to contextualize what our event looks and feels like, I refer to it as like the love child between Burning Man and Pretty Woman. So that sort of gives you the idea. It's highly creative. People put a lot of time and effort to come, and they build these amazing tailgate presents all around the field. It's highly interactive. So attendees walk from tailgate to tailgate to tailgate. And I think, quite frankly...
Oh, now it's a gay event.
Oh, well, you know, and others, and others. Yeah, right. No, it's very inclusive. And that brings up actually a good point I'd like to mention. We are a gay identified event, but we're inclusive, not exclusive. That's Our event is suitable for families, for your parents, for your grandparents, for kids. We welcome all the allies. And, you know, we do have allies that have supported us, mostly in our sponsorship roster, and also on the field. And with some of our players this year, we have 2 allies. One's flying in from Germany to compete, and another person is flying in from Aiken to compete. So, you know, we want allies to be with us because that is who we are, and that's what we feel is really important.
So you can be in a tent with full food and bar. Right. You can have space where you have a tent for tailgating and general admission. Like if you did the tailgating in the traditional tailgating at a football game, you bring your own food and.
Correct.
How does that work?
Correct. So we offer, as you mentioned, we offer a VIP tent, which is sponsored by Cherry Knoll Farm, and they're an amazing ally, longtime supporter of GPL. That tent, you can buy a table, you can buy an individual ticket. We offer a full buffet, open bar, it's field side, and it's all day long. So that's sort of like the easy way to go. The more fun way to go, perhaps, are the tailgates. So you buy a tailgate, and you get with that tailgate, which is one spot with a 10 by 10 tent, and you get 10 tickets with that. So you and 9 friends can pull together, bring your own food, bring your own beverages, decorate, we hope. We highly encourage that because we have a great tailgate competition with awards. And that's just really fun. I mean, that's a tremendous way to do it. And then we also have general admission tickets for people who want to come and either join their friends at a tailgate or walk around and enjoy the day. Yeah,
it's so different than what I normally hear from a Pride or a white party, or, you know, it sounds like it's so much fun. That's the big day. As I said, you know, I remind 2,000 expected to the event. And then on Sunday, you close April 9th with brunch at Mallet Grill. And you have food and buffet, open bar, and you watch the U.S. Open Polo tournament, I understand.
So this is really for people who've traveled. Like you mentioned, we have players flying in from 7 countries this year to compete. And all of us will go then to the Mallet Grill on Sunday, and it's on the member side of the National Polo Center, which is it's a tremendous venue, and it's beautiful. And then we watch the U.S. Open Polo, which is the highest gold polo matches outside of Argentina in the world. So those aren't gay matches, but they're certainly worthwhile watching.
Yeah, fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm curious as we end talking about the International Gay Polo Tournament that's taking place. You know, for all of those that try to confine and define LGBT, we're all drag queens, we're all negative stereotypes that we're watching in some of the state houses around the country. It seems to me that this international polo tournament for the gay community is a great representation that we are everything, including polo.
Yeah, that's a nice thing for you to say. For me, I felt growing up as a baby gay who was really driven to participate in sports. Something told me that team sports weren't available to me. And I think it was the absence of seeing professional gay athletes on TV or in mainstream media. we kind of knew the sports at Welcome then. We kind of had an inkling, but you never saw anybody talk about, oh, here's Martina Tolova and here's her wife and their children in the stands. That absence was what I thought, you know, we need to change that. We need to start modeling the behavior that we seek in other people. And honestly, today, you still see very few gay out and proud athletes who compete as out and proud athletes. And when they do, it seems to stall out their career. So it's very, very important. And I think it takes a lot of courage for our players, including the allies that play with us, to openly present themselves as gay athletes in a gay tournament.
Absolutely fascinating. April 7th through the 9th are just across our border into Palm Beach County.
Which is only 45 minutes north. It's just a hop, skip, and a small jump.
Wait, it's that close?
Yes, it is. You people in Fort Lauderdale, you don't seem to know Wellington at all.
Geography, come on, what is it? Chip, last question. What's the number one thing that you are proud of in terms of helping present the International Gay Polo Tournament?
It's, you know, in all honesty, it's hard to narrow it down to one thing. But if I have to, I would say the one thing I'm the most proud about, is how it has drawn people from all different walks of life and all different positions. You know, when I first started this, I thought I'd meet people like me. And in all honesty, I've met many people and more people that are far more interesting, far more courageous, and far more talented than I am. So it's been a wonderful journey, and I think we've started to build a community, and we are inclusive, so we welcome everybody, and I think that's what I'm most proud of.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. And before we go, I can't help but notice, I'm not even sure what this is.
This is a gift for you. This is a branded GPL polo ball. This is exactly what we hit. So that's a 3-inch diameter, hard plastic ball, and I thought you should have it, you know, if you ever decide to, take up the sport.
Yeah, take up the sport. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Oh, it's very hard too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Well, I can't wait. I'm going to come up. It's in our backyard. If you're here in South Florida, you are never going to be able to say anywhere in the world, our LGBTQ community marks lots of big parts of their life and their travel by saying, I got to. You won't be able to do this anywhere else in the world. April 7th to 9th, the Gay Polo League's International Gay Polo Tournament in Palm Beach. Chip McKenney, founder of the league, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. And I hope to see you all there.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.